Hi, and welcome to my top 5 recommendations for this week. An interesting tidbit this week is that all my recommendations are averaging almost 200 pages. That's a lot of pages, but also a lot of important knowledge, so let's get into it. My first recommendation explores developments, challenges, and opportunities encountered during the promotion of sexual and reproductive health and rights in Africa. It notes that many Africans face discrimination based on age, gender, identity, and sexual orientation. It explores several topics, including, but not limited to, abortion, gender identity, adolescent sexuality, and homosexuality. Focus is, however, on the impact culture, social beliefs, and morality have on sexual and reproductive health and rights in vulnerable and marginalized groups. Also highlighted in this book is the role played by national and regional human rights bodies and litigation in advancing sexual and reproductive health and rights in Africa. My next recommendation is a long read at 361 pages in which trade economists formulate ideas of ways to make sub-Saharan markets globally accessible. They note how many countries need to increase their supply chains, production, and trade in order to connect to global markets. This will facilitate increased demand for goods and products and also inspire innovation. Also highlighted is how external shocks like COVID-19 disrupt trade and increase the vulnerability of many African countries who rely on trade to bring in the biggest chunk of money for their economies. Up next, and in contrast to my previous report, is a 24-page paper by UNESCO that provides a snapshot of educational challenges and opportunities for recovery in Africa. The report provides an overview of the impact COVID-19 has had on the education sector in Africa, focusing on the challenges faced during the pandemic and subsequent solutions. Recommendations are made on how to deal with the pandemic while remaining focused on improving Africa's aim of bettering its education system, societies, and economies. The report further reiterates the importance of education in stirring Africa's recovery from the pandemic. My fourth recommendation highlights the observed and projected impacts of climate change, hazards, related risks, and vulnerabilities in Sub-Saharan Africa. Published by UNICEF, it also highlights its mandate of supporting children and women affected by the climate crisis and notes that large populations of poor and vulnerable communities are experiencing some of climate change's worst impacts, like cyclones, droughts, and flooding, while all of it threaten food security and livelihoods. The climate crisis has increased environmental degradation, resulting in climate migration. More extreme events will occur because of climate change, and because of this, enhanced climate action is required. Last on my list of recommendations this week is a report on industrialization in Sub-Saharan Africa, especially as the topic has once again taken center stage due to the COVID-19 pandemic bringing world trade to a standstill and disrupting global supply chains. The report provides a comprehensive assessment of industrialization in Africa and shows that prospects for industrialization are bound to differ across countries in Sub-Saharan Africa owing to 1. Resource availability, and 2. Initial policy configurations related to industrial development. It proposes that the quest to industrialize countries in Sub-Saharan Africa will require collaboration and that the industrial development must be an integral component of the economic transformation agenda in Sub-Saharan Africa. To be successful, policies should foster integration into global value chains and aim to develop regional value chains as well. It cites the African Continental Free Trade Area as a promising start. That's it for this week. Happy reading, stay safe, and goodbye.